Hello my friends, I have to say that I can start and end today's video in regards to MMTLP with just one sentence, and here it is. FINRA drafted the initial and revised corporate action notices on December 6th and 8th of 2022 with an instruction that the issuer was not to edit or interpret it, and included language that we believe itself became the source of market confusion. So guys, it is a real bombshell, and I have to say that for today's video I have several mind-boggling news. Definitely we are about to see the resolution, and authorities have to do something in order to solve this problem.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed, born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up.
So, and before we dive deep into all of this, guys, please hit the like button for YouTube algorithm and drop me a line in the comment section for whatever reasons you want. It is very important for me to see this support from you, from my viewers, and definitely this news of today's video will blow your mind. So, and first of all, let's start with this one. We are on MMTLPresources.com, and we have basically the first press release that was published by NextBridge Hydrocarbons, and basically they advise to move your shares to AST. So, let me quote you this. Curtis wrote this tweet just several hours ago, and he said, "The language could not be any more clear. As we consider our options related to the SEC requirements of this registration, it is still very important to the company for shareholders to move their shares to AST. Knowing who our shareholders are will help in matters of corporate governance and communications with our shareholders," added McCabe. As stated in our previous news release, we are considering our options regarding the potential for blockchain trading, which will also require the moving of all shares to AST. And as the largest shareholder, I have moved all my shares to AST. So guys, it is a pure call to action from C-level executives from NextBridge Hydrocarbons and from Greg McCabe himself. And guys, the only problem that you might have, basically you potentially might have two problems with transferring your shares to AST. One of them, your broker-dealer doesn't allow you to do it, and in this case you just have to try to transfer your shares to another broker that can transfer your shares to AST. So just find this middleman and transfer your shares, definitely, if you want to do it. And the next option is much more trickier, because if your shares is on your pension account like 401k, definitely you have some restrictions because of the tax rules and of the nature of this account. And for now, I don't have a solution if your shares on, for example, 401k or any other pension plans. But I will do my best in order to find this information for you, and definitely I will show it to you in upcoming videos. So, and this was the first press release, and guys, if there is a first, definitely it should be the second one, and we have it. Here you can see the article again on MMTLP Resources, and it is titled, "Wow, second press release from NextBridge packs a punch." And let me show you this press release in details. First of all, I have to admit it is quite a long document, and I want to make a detailed breakdown of this, and let me start. So, on February the 8th, 2024, they published this. NextBridge Hydrocarbons, and oil and natural gas exploration and production company with interests in Texas and Oklahoma, today provided the following statement. "We've further been made aware of calls by Congress Ralph Norman for a congressional hearing regarding MMTLP, which we and our chairman would gladly participate in to help supplement the factual record on relevant events. NextBridge management has differing perspectives on certain key points expressed by FINRA in this letter. NextBridge firmly believes that we and our investors have a right to know, and Congress and the SEC have an interest and duty to understand the total aggregate outstanding uncovered short positions held by foreign and domestic institutions that exceed the issued and outstanding shares of our company. Unfortunately, this important figure remains unknown. We call on FINRA and the SEC to take a more proactive ownership role in completing the necessary accounting for several key reasons. And let me quote you these reasons. First, FINRA and the SEC have access to resources, investigatory powers, and foreign information sharing tools, and we rely on them to serve as champions of the full and complete trading facts for the investing public and US companies. Those securities are publicly traded under their oversight. Second, FINRA stated there was an aggregate short interest position in MMTLP of approximately 2.65 million shares out of 165.47 million total shares outstanding. FINRA went on to characterize this volume as not significant. And definitely, guys, this statement is misleading. So, we believe this is a consequential blind spot in FINRA's data, because foreign firms have approached NextBridge about procuring more than 2.65 million shares. If FINRA is unable to report on the entire universe of the outstanding uncovered short position in NextBridge, including short interest positions held via foreign brokers, we request that they maintain full transparency of this fact in communications with interested parties and refrain from descriptions of the short interest as inconsequential until this is borne out via a comprehensive investigation. We also believe further clarification regarding the limits of the data available to FINRA would be helpful for investors. So, very important statement. Next, our company is also concerned that uncovered short selling activity might have been carried out by entities that are also exempt from SEC registration or via transactions that are otherwise exempt from reporting. We are happy to provide information that might be beneficial in helping the SEC scope the necessary sources for data collection in any investigation it might elect to undertake in the future, including any that may require the cooperation of foreign counterparts. So, with this sentence, basically, NextBridge Hydrocarbons and Greg McCabe said, FINRA and SEC, if you cannot do your job, let us help you. Let us give you the information. And basically, we already have this information that there is a huge imbalance on the balance sheets of broker-dealers. There is a huge number of shares that were transferred to foreign brokers in order to hide these numbers from SEC. But guys, SEC and FINRA have tools in order to find out these numbers. And let me quote you further. This is the most important paragraph. Third, we believe there is an onus on FINRA to help resolve ongoing investors' concerns due to the role it played in the events that led to the U3 halt and the subsequent confusion resulting from the halt itself. FINRA stated that it is determined the U3 halt was necessary and appropriate to protect investors and ensure a fair and orderly marketplace. And this statement is really ridiculous. Unfortunately, many investors continue to communicate great frustration that the halt accomplished quite the opposite and could have been avoided. We do not intend to litigate FINRA's decision-making in this release, but we also would like to ensure that we clarify certain points on which we have a divergent view from FINRA in regards to the corporate action announcing the NBH spin-off and subsequent U3 halt, since the issues are actively being discussed in public releases to our investors and publicized letters to Congress. As an initial matter, we take issue with FINRA's repeated assertion that FINRA's role is limited to reviewing and processing corporate action submissions and announcing the corporate action to market participants, unless the corporate action documentation is found to be deficient under Rule 6490, in which case FINRA may determine not to process the corporate action. We do not believe this describes the role that FINRA played in the MMTLP corporate action submission process, nor does it offer a complete recitation of FINRA's authority under Rule 6490. First, FINRA drafted the initial and revised corporate action notices on December 6th and 8th of 2022 with an instruction that the issuer was not added or interpreted, and included language that we believe itself became the source of market confusion. For example, While FINRA describes the notice to Congressman Norman as consistent with the information provided by metamaterials, it is notable that the notice actually introduced a new instruction that MMTLP shares would be deleted on December 13th, a date never before contemplated or referenced by the issuers, and which many found difficult to reconcile with Meta's announcement that the distribution of next breach shares would take place the next day on December 14th. Indeed, it was never proposed to FINRA to add a December 13 cancellation date or deletion date, and adding such date created an unnecessary restriction to the corporate action and shareholders of MMTLP. In addition, FINRA's Rule 6490 allows to refrain from processing requested corporate actions altogether if it determines not processing is necessary to protect investors and the public interest and to maintain fair and orderly markets. In other words, the justification FINRA ultimately used for issuing the U3 halt was available to it at the outset of the process, when any concerns could have been addressed by issuer. Instead, they evidently did not discern a compelling reason to reject the processing of the announcement, crafted a different announcement, and allowed trading to continue through December 8, 2022, then initiated the U3 halt shortly thereafter, when the markets were closed and all participants, short and long, were frozen. Since nothing regarding the corporate action and issuers' contemplated record or distribution dates changed between when the corporate action was submitted to FINRA for review and when the U3 halt was issued, aside from the introduction of FINRA's own announcement, we remain confused as to why FINRA did not simply reject the corporate action announcement at the outset, rather than issuing a halt for extraordinary circumstances, to the great surprise of the issuer and retail investors. The end result was mass confusion that persists to this day amongst our investor base, many of whom feel they were unnecessarily and unfairly denied 2 days of trading, and which would also given parties with millions of short position on an opportunity to cover or close. And guys, this is a brilliant press release that describes when FINRA was wrong and how they did it and what should they do. Instead of the U3 halt, they just had to cancel the corporate action that they made by themselves. And this is the pure evidence that FINRA is the first wrongdoer who let this happen. And that is why with this press release, I think it might be a huge step towards the resolution. And guys, take a look at this press release from the different point of view. Back in the days when Greg McCabe was just the largest shareholder of NextBridge Hydrocarbons and previously of MMTLP, at that time we didn't have any mentions in regards to the resolution of this problem. But when Greg McCabe became CEO and the chairman of NextBridge Hydrocarbons, since this point we have a huge updates on a consistent basis, and this means Greg McCabe as the largest shareholder who has a huge part of his skin in this game, definitely he will push this case forward as well from the NextBridge Hydrocarbons standpoint. And this pretty much guarantees the resolution of our problem one way or another. And guys, it is not the end, it is not all news that I have for you for today's video. Let me show you this one. Again, MMTLP Resources published this information. SEC has responded to 0.0619% of MMTLP compliance. And let me quote you this. Anna has uncovered some data that was not even provided in Gensler's response to the open letter, even though it was requested. The SEC has received over 56,000 email complaints regarding MMTLP and has answered 0.0619% of the total compliance. And here you can see the tweet that was written by Anna Trades, and definitely SEC duty is to resolve all the problems that might happen on the market, and their only goal is to protect investors and is to give to all the investors equal rights and basically to provide a fair market. But with these 4 letters, with this information that they didn't answer even on 0.01% of the total compliance, definitely it means that the problem is huge and SEC didn't want or didn't have an opportunity to answer to all of these questions, and this means they cannot do their job properly. That is why we have to see some major changes in the structure of these authorities, and that is why, guys, we have to push our case forward, because through our case the entire retail community of the United States of America, and I think for the entire world, will have a fair markets, and this should be done by solving our case. So I think that's all information that I want to provide you. If you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel with notification bell, and see you guys and girls next time. Bye.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium